All right, make sure you guys keep in tune for this build series. Make sure, subscribe. Boom. All right, welcome back to Torque and Power. This is going to be part 2 of the build series. So, putting on the 128, if you guys don't realize, onto the 2018 Street Glide Special. We're going to be doing all the 128 build from Harley. So, today I thought it'd be pretty cool in case, also like, subscribe, ding the bell, make sure you guys subscribe, right? And keep up the comments. I've been appreciating, I've been answering a lot of them. If you have anything else, keep it coming at me. Keeps me honest too, in case maybe I missed something part number wise, but keep up the comments. I absolutely love it. And make sure you guys subscribe because you guys will like this. So today we're just gonna kind of do some basic stuff. I'm gonna treat it like someone has never done this before. Maybe you're trying to get into Harley. Maybe this is something you want to do on your bike and you're a little, skeptical about what you can do and what you can't do. But today we're just going to be talking about what I'm going to initially pull off the bike. So I thought we'd do a quick little run through what I'm going to do, and then we'll come back and then I'll have everything off the bike, what we talked about, and then we can talk about exactly what were the tools, what were the parts, and then what we did, and so on and so forth. So real easy. On this bike, what we're gonna do, the bags will come off. That's a real simple thing in case you don't know. Real quick, easy release that are right here. Bags will come off. The side covers, I'm gonna pull those off. So pretty much anything that's a painted piece. The seat is gonna come off, both the passenger pillion and the driver's pillion. What you do wanna watch out for, because you guys gotta take off the fuel tank on this guy. So the center console, there's a couple bolts underneath here, and I'll actually show you guys so you guys can see it in case you don't know how to take the seat off. This is real simple. I got the quick release on this guy, which you just zip, 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 just like that. And then you back it up. And then now this guy's off. And then to take off the rest of this guy, it's just these two guys. This is not too exciting. But you get these guys off. I did a little quick release for the CVO ones as well. These are the gloss black ones. In case everyone's curious, these are the gloss black because I wanted everything to do a nice little match. So there's 2 of these guys.
Will you show us what they look like?
That will come off. Yeah, I'll show you the second one. How about that? Got my amazing videographer again behind the camera. So all they are is these guys right here. So just a little quick release. Real simple, goes on both of these guys, and then the same thing was a quick release on that guy. But underneath the seat, right, we got all the working stuff. And there you go, right, dusty. Woo! So the seat is off. So what I wanted to show you guys is there's this center console bolt here. And when you take off this center console bolt, and then there's one more if you want to come up front. So you come up top, there's another one right there. It's a small little guy. Not too tough to take out. But those are your 2 bolts that hold this. But what you guys need to know, underneath this guy, you've got to remove this gas cap, okay? This gas cap, because otherwise this guy will not want to come up and off because the spout for the gas will still be there. So make sure you guys remove the gas cap, something pretty simple. Then you just do those 2 bolts, that comes off. We're gonna knock out the gas tank as well. So that's 2 more bolts right here for the gas tank. And then if you guys look up front, up here, under these covers, is another bolt for the gas tank. And then down here for the fuel, you just pop this line. It's real simple, like so.
And you do not have to have the tank empty.
Well, like so. I'm doing it like so, huh? No, you don't. This guy does not want to. Anyways, we got a gas line. You got to take that off. And then there's some wires and stuff that you pull off as well. But that is, the gas tank's gonna come. I already told you the side covers. And that will get me down to the basics, right? Then after that, what you're gonna do is you gotta take off the exhaust system. So we'll cover that as well. It's just gonna be taking off the slip-ons down here, and then eventually making our way back, and then taking off the header pipe. And then the shields and all that stuff. So That will be in there as well, which will also be the floorboard. Will have to come off just so we can slide it out. It makes it nice and easy. Do make sure for you guys that you really want to protect your bike. So take painter's tape and cover up stuff. Like you're gonna see like the brake pedal's gonna be covered. There's gonna be stuff on the frame as well. That's gonna have painter's tape as well to cover it, just to protect it when this stuff does slide out, right? Because you never know, sometimes things are a little bit more difficult than they need to be. But that will be the step for today. Something just as simple as that. Get it down. The bike obviously is gonna look a little bit different. And then we can focus on the next step. So we'll cover that. Hopefully there's something, maybe if you have questions or whatnot, you guys can kick it below and let me know. But otherwise we'll talk to you in just a second. All right, later. All right, so real quick too, this one I kind of cut because it was being a little difficult, it was being a little cold. So all you do to take out the fuel is right here. You guys just push that up right there, and then bam, that guy pops out, and that's your fuel line. And from there, that guy goes down to the manifold into the ejectors. But that is it, and then you are good to go. Do be ready, because this thing is kind of like a little horseshoe over the frame. If you do have a full tank of gas, like of course I do, because it's winter and it is winterized, it is gonna have a little bit of weight when you go to take it off. So make sure you guys cover everything up, because you do care about your paint. Keep it nice and protected, and I won't even have this stuff in the garage. I'll actually take it downstairs. It'll be all covered up until the entire project is done. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys cover your paint in front and on the fender. You never know when a bolt goes flying or something else. You may drop a tool. Always good to know. And this is super exciting because we're finally getting into the actual nitty gritty of actually building the bike and stripping it down. And hopefully you guys are just as stoked as I am to see this stuff start to come together. So enjoy the Denim Legend Blue paint one more time before we pull this whole bad boy apart. All right, make sure you guys keep in tune for this build series. Make sure, subscribe. Boom. All right, so in reality, that was about 10 minutes to get to this point. It's real simple and quick, but I wanted to give you guys maybe some keys and some pointers if you've never taken apart your own bike, and some stuff to look out for. So something I wanted to mention before, if you don't, make sure you guys get this. This is gonna be everything you possibly need to know. Service manual, Harley writes it. It is the best, without a question. So get it for whatever model year you have. And I can't stress that enough. It is huge. But do make sure you get it for your model year, or they say for whatever the newest model. So if the Street Glide's still around like this, and get it for a 21 or whatever. But do know some stuff will change, like the GPS unit, because they do update the part numbers on these books, okay? So that is huge. But anyways, if you've never dealt with it before, always have this. It gives you all the torque numbers, everything. So we're at this point, and here's the bike. It's stripped down. It's dirty. Don't judge, okay? It's put on a lot of miles, a lot of stuff, so it's got to get cleaned up. I actually take everything off of this bike. I clean that up thoroughly. I wrap it up. I put it away because Harley paint is expensive. I know, okay? So take care of it. But to this point, so some stuff to know, which really comes up here where the gas tank was. So you're gonna get to it, and you're gonna take off that center console, and you're gonna notice there's some lines that you're gonna have to take off. So there's a line here, which is just a return line that's gonna have to come off, unplug that guy from it. And I'll show you guys on the center console what that's like too. There is a breather one that runs down the side of the bike that gets zip tied to the frame. You're just gonna pull that right on out. I'll show you where that is as well. There is a plug for the fuel pump, which is right here. You can unplug it here, and that will run up to the sender unit as well. So make sure you guys get that stuff off, otherwise you're gonna take everything, all the bolts, and that's real simple to do, and then you're gonna go to give it a yank, and the gas tank and all that stuff is gonna be held on by those plugs. So make sure you guys get those off. So let me show you what I'm talking about, since we're fresh on it. So this is your center console right here. Here is the plug I was referring to. This will actually get plugged into the gas tank. Okay, so this will get plugged in the gas tank. So once you lift this up and off, unplug that from the gas tank, right? That's for the fuel pump that's in the tank. And then down here, here's the plug I was just referring to that's underneath the seat. So it gives this plug power in order for the fuel pump. And then here's that guy that kicks off the side by the zip ties I was talking about, in case there's anything to access the breather line. You want to pull this out as well. Another thing that might sound like, okay, it's dummy proof or whatever, but if you're going to do this stuff yourself, make sure you guys put it away, however, in order in which you took it off. It makes it so much easier if you have everything in order. It's so much easier to take stuff off than when it is actually put it together. So leave yourself in order, at least that's what I do. Another couple little simple things in case you've never done your bike before. You gotta always make sure you take out that 50 amp, which is right here. It's real simple. If you guys don't know, big bright red 50 amp fuse right here. It goes in here, you pull out. Make sure you got your key fob with you, because you gotta turn the bike on and then let it go ahead and fire, well, not fire itself up, but the lights go on, and then shut it off, and before it resets itself, you pull that 50 amp fuse, right? So that is a key thing. So make sure you guys have that as well. So another quick little thing, which just sounds like, oh, it's kind of dummy, you know, really, but again, that's what I guess this is about, you know, kind of some of the little cues that I've come through. When you go take out the side panels, do make sure you got those those passenger pegs down, or maybe you got the footboards. But make sure they're down, otherwise they're gonna get in the way and they're gonna scratch. So, and then when you're done, you can put it up and out of the way. Otherwise, I think it's kind of where we're at right now. I'm gonna take the exhaust off as well. But we'll come back to that. I'll show you exactly what's involved, but you guys can see there's 2 bolts here for the slip-on. You'll have to take that off. You'll have to take off the bolt here, and then that will slide off. You got to take off all the shields. That actually comes off first, is all the shields. You guys don't make sure you scratch that up. Then once you got the shields off, and then you got your painter's tape on here, then you go ahead and you slide those slip-on mufflers off. And then you can finally start dealing with the header pipe next. But you can see it's pretty cool. It's getting there. I think I kind of covered everything. Just take your time with stuff.
I have a question.
Oh, got a question from the videographer?
Just for being, you know, someone who's never done this, how do you have to hold up the fuel tank and then unplug everything, or how are you unplugging all of this stuff from the fuel tank?
No, so when you peel off the center console, that's a good question. When you peel off that little center console I showed you, then underneath is the plugs. But prior to even pulling that off, underneath the seat, you should have those plugs and hoses already disconnected. Then pull the center console off. And
So
then you guys will
nothing's
see the plugs underneath there.
Okay.
Clearly put your gas cap back onto your gas tank, otherwise it's totally exposed. And then you gotta pull this guy off, nice and easy. It's not heavy unless you got 6 gallons of gas like this guy. And then you're good to go. All right, so next up we were gonna do the exhaust, and we'll probably cut it there. So there you go, see you in a bit. All right, and we're back. There was a little bit of delay. Super Bowl game was on. Had to take a little break. Had to watch that. Congrats to the Rams. That was a cool game. But we're back in this now. Hat is backwards, as you can see. I get a little more serious when I start to get into the exhaust stuff. But a couple little tips. If you're just diving into this and you're a home mechanic and you want to kind of know a little bit of the beginner stuff to look out for, which is pretty much what this video is about. Okay, I'm not going to cover, oh, you got to have this socket for this and all these tutorials, but stuff to look out for when you're doing it yourself, because you do have to have some basic knowledge when you're diving into a project like this, especially a big bore kit. But getting back to it, the exhaust, like I covered before, make sure you guys got your 2 bolts right there for the slip-ons, and then that guy's going to come across, and then there's a crossover pipe that's going to go underneath. So make sure you guys remember the hanger that's underneath here. Simple little nut that's on there that holds that hanger. And then once you get that guy free and it's off, and then you got those bolts off the slip-on, then you gotta just take that guy right on out, and it isn't an issue. So you guys get a little bit more of a visual. That's it sitting here down on the ground. Here's where it clamps to the other pipe. That's where that bolt holds it right there for that crossover. That nut holds it, and you just slide it over. So that's the one exhaust. This is the other, and here is your header pipe with your wideband. Since I do have the stage 1 kit on this guy with the auto tune, I got the wideband O2s that I'll have to reuse. And then here's your heat shields here. And then one more quick little thing, here is the floorboard that I took off on the right side of the bike. So, but let's cruise over real quick. So you guys, you can see this side of the bike. I'm big into taping things so I know where they are. So here's like the rear O2. I know where that is. Down here is the front O2. And again, these are the wide bands. You can see I tape up stuff that is crucial with paint. So when I'm getting this guy off, and this guy, you do have to take the slip-on off that header pipe. And then after that, you just got to undo the nuts that are up in the heads. Undo the nuts in the head.
They're in there, you just can't see
But you can't see them. But anyways, I undid them already, so they're out. And then the flange will slip down on the header pipe. And then the same thing for the front. It is a little tight, especially if you're like me and you got the lower fairings. It does just take a little bit of patience, not hard by any means. Take it out, slip it off. Another thing to be aware of besides the oxygen. And that was just maybe the compressor going on, but that's all right. We shut that bad boy off. Just be aware of another hanger. So again, it's just another nut that comes off, and then this also hangs the exhaust as well. So you don't have any hang-ups by the time you get done unbolting everything, taking the flange off. I don't want you to all of a sudden get caught up like, oh, I got the oxygen sensors I got to do. I got the hanger over here, and of course there'll be some lovely zip ties as well. So do yourself a favor and note that stuff like I like to do. So I like to put everything back the way it was stock, zip ties and all. And that is where we're gonna leave this video. So as you can tell, the bike is pretty stripped down. Getting race ready. Maybe next time I will have it all cleaned up. So it'll look a little bit nicer and cleaner for you guys so you guys can actually see it. But next we're gonna be diving into the motor. So we're gonna do that intake on the other side. We'll pull that off. We'll start getting into the horn. We got all the oil lines that you guys can see up here, the spark plugs, everything else. We got to get all this stuff off before we can actually dive into pulling off the heads and stuff like that, the exciting things. But like I said, I like to take my time, clean everything up while they're in there. It's just good. It's just good to do all that stuff. So there we are. I think that's pretty good. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, this is kind of just like a broad view. Some stuff that maybe I didn't see on some of the other videos when I've watched other people do these builds. Maybe some of the little detail stuff. But otherwise, there certainly is a lot of good videos out there. If you guys are ever interested in that stuff, it's always good to acquire a lot of knowledge from different people. But appreciate you guys checking in. Like I said in the beginning, appreciate it. Torque and Power. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe because we're going to have more stuff coming up. And I'll see you guys soon. All right, later.